One rapper got shot at while in his tour bus, and this other rapper's venue also got shot up. These are the deadliest moments during rap tours. Waka Flocka Flame, known for bringing the heat to every show, had to pump the brakes on his UNC Charlotte gig. The campus was supposed to be lit, but instead, it turned into a real-life nightmare. Some fool decided to pop off, leaving 2 dead and others catching bullets. Waka, being the real one, wasn't about to risk his fans' lives for a show. He jumped on social media to let everyone know he was bouncing, showing he cares more about people's safety than chasing that bag. But that ain't where the drama ends. Over in Gary, Indiana, after one of Waka's concerts at a skating rink, hit the fan in the parking lot. Some youngbloods, we're talking teens from 14 to 18, got caught in the crossfire when a beef popped off. 8 of these kids ended up catching strays.
3 people detained. That includes the rapper Waka Flocka, his brother, and an employee at the business here. This all started with a shootout in the parking lot. A shootout here with multiple shots fired and 1 person hit.
Luckily, nobody checked out, but it was still a close call. 1 minute you're vibing to Waka's bangers, and the next you're ducking for cover. It ain't just about the music anymore. You gotta watch your back, even when you're trying to just have a good time. And speaking of concerts gone wrong, let's switch gears and talk about the Astroworld disaster. That took concert chaos to another dimension, showing just how deadly a hyped-up crowd can be when things spiral out of control. This dude's shows have been like a series of increasingly crazy episodes, each one wilder than the last. First up, we have the 2015 Manhattan show. Travis had the crowd so hyped one fan took it too far and ended up taking a dive off the balcony. Bro wasn't trying to crowd surf, he straight up fell and got paralyzed. That's when people started realizing Scott's shows were no joke. Then at Lollapalooza that same year, Travis had the crowd so turned they stormed the stage. Dozens of fans rushed up there acting like they were part of the show. The venue wasn't dealing with this and cut the mic fast. That's strike 2 for Travis. But Astroworld has got to be the craziest and deadliest concert that ever happened. It all went down in Houston, where Travis was set up to turn the city upside down. The energy was crazy from the jump, with fans rushing the gates like they were giving away free Jordans. But this was just the warm-up for the chaos about to pop off. When Travis hit the stage, that's when it all went left. Oh, the crowd was packed really tight and fools started wilding out. As Travis was up there doing his thing, the situation in the crowd got real ugly real quick. People were passing out, getting trampled, and straight up not making it. The wildest part? The show kept going, even when folks were fighting for their lives. Travis didn't stop the show to help out anybody, which led to a very creepy video of him. When things settled, 10 people had checked out, including a kid who was way too young to be in that mess. The cause? Basically getting squeezed so hard they couldn't breathe. That disaster had everyone shook, lawsuits flying left and right like confetti at a championship parade. Security was called out for being trash, and people were wondering how nobody saw that coming. There wasn't enough medical staff either. Travis then posted an apology for the victims.
The ones that was lost last night, we're actually working right now to identify the families so we can help assist them through this tough time.
But fans weren't having it. The Astroworld tragedy went down as one of the deadliest concert disasters ever, leaving a dark cloud over the rap game. It had people questioning everything about how these big shows go down and whether the turn-up is worth risking your life. Now, speaking of concerts going sideways, let's talk about T.I.'s show, where bullets started flying. Looks like these days you can't watch a rap show without worrying about catching a stray. New York City, Irving Plaza, T.I.'s show turns into a straight-up shootout. Here's how it went down. T.I. was about to hit the stage. His DJ's warming up the crowd. But before he could even grab the mic, popped off in the green room. Some beef got too real, and the next thing you know, shots are flying. The crowd went from lit to terrified in a hot second, folks scrambling around for the exits, not knowing if they're gonna catch a stray. When the smoke cleared out, one dude, Ronald McFadder, had checked out permanently. Cops roll up quick and pin the mess on Troy Ave, another rapper at the spot. Dude went from potentially performing to potentially doing a bid, charged with attempted murder. Really got people wondering if they need to wear a vest when they get out to these concerts. But he isn't the only rapper to get shot at during a concert. Big Boogie's concert in Dallas proved once again that you can't even enjoy a show these days without risking your life. This joint was supposed to be lit. We're talking about an outdoor jam with about 2,000 heads ready to turn up. They even had free for the little ones, trying to keep it family friendly and all that. But when that clock struck midnight, the celebration turned into a nightmare. Before Big Boogie could even get on the stage, shots started ringing out. Suddenly everybody's ducking and running, trying not to catch a stray. When the smoke cleared, one dude had checked out permanently, caught a bullet to the dome right by the stage. 9 others were left leaking, including some kids who probably should have been at home playing Fortnite or something instead of dodging bullets at a rap show.
When they arrived, there were 10 people who were shot. Now, witnesses tell us there was a real struggle to get police, fire, and EMS to the main stage. The tough part about all this is, as you said, we have one person who died.
The craziest shit, Big Boogie wasn't even there yet. Dude posted on the gram saying he hadn't even pulled up when this mess went down. Talking about dodging a bullet, literally. Cops rolled up quick, but it was like trying to find a needle in a haystack, with 2,000 people running around panicked. But the venue isn't the only place you might catch some heat. Seems like these days artists can't even roll through a town without worrying about goons trying to light up their ride. Lil Wayne, the OG himself, found himself in some real heat back in 2015. So Wayne had just wrapped up this show, doing his thing, spitting fire like always, but as he's bouncing from the club, some beef starts cooking. Wayne gets into it with this dude, Pee Wee Roscoe. Now Pee Wee ain't just some random. He's Birdman's tour manager, and got them blood ties. Next thing you know, Wayne's rolling out on his tour bus, probably thinking the drama's over, but Pee Wee ain't letting it go. This fool hops in his white Camaro and starts letting them things fly at Wayne's bus. We're talking like serious lead in the air, causing more damage, worth over 20 racks. But this ain't just about some random beef. Word is Pee Wee was hitting up Birdman and Young Thug before and after shooting up Wayne's bus. Luckily, nobody caught a bullet here, but the bus driver wasn't about to let any of that slide. Homie sued everybody. Birdman, Young Thug, Pee Wee, Cash Money Records. Probably would have sued the bullet manufacturer if he could. The law caught up with Pee Wee quick. Dude got hit with more charges than a rapper's credit card. Aggravated assault, gun charges, and even some RICO action. In the end, Pee Wee copped a plea, admitting to some gang-related charges. Dude walked out with time served, but had to cough up 100 racks to the bus driver. Speaking of rappers now who catching heat, we're gonna slide over to this rapper who got caught lacking on tour. It was February 12th, and Kodak Black was out in LA kicking it. But as Kodak and his crew were bouncing from the spot, things went downhill real quick. Out of nowhere, a scuffle breaks out, and Kodak, being the real one he is, didn't hesitate to jump in the mix. He was on site, hands on deck, putting in work on some dude on the ground. But just when you thought it was over, the situation takes a wild turn. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Nobody knows for sure who the target was in this whole situation. Kodak caught a bullet to the leg, but by some stroke of luck, the wound wasn't too serious. The Florida boy managed to dodge a major L, walking away from what could have been a life or death situation. Kodak's a real G though, brushed it off like it was nothing, proving once again why he's one of the toughest in the game. But this next rapper would get herself in a similarly heated situation not too long after. GloRilla was out in Rochester, New York, bussing it down at the Main Street Armory on March 5th, 2023. The spot was lit, straight fire, with heads packed in tight to catch Glo spit that hot Memphis flow. Everything was Gucci until that last track dropped. Just as Glo bounced off stage, loud bangs started popping.
Some witnesses say they heard gunshots, causing a stampede following the concert.
In all that chaos, 3 people got caught up in the sauce. They were trying to turn up but ended up getting bodied in the stampede. One of them, a 33-year-old who was just on her wave, caught the worst of it. Sadly, she ain't make it. Checking out later from her injuries.
Police identified one of the victims as 33-year-old Rondezia Belton of Buffalo. The second woman who died was said to be 35. Meanwhile, several more concert goers were taken to local hospitals to be treated for injuries.
The police rolled up quick, sirens blaring like the end of days, and they would shut the whole thing down. When you're out here grinding, chasing paper, things go from 0 to 100 real quick. But this ain't the first time culture will take an L on tour. Matter of fact, it's bringing back memories of another young king who checked out way too soon. Juice WRLD had just wrapped up a monster tour down under in Australia. The kid was fire, selling out shows left and right, leaving crowds hyped and wanting more. He was only 21, fresh off celebrating his birthday, and the world was his for the taking. But life's got a way of flipping the script when you least expect it. Because on December 8th, 2019, just 6 days after he'd blown out some candles, Juice touched down at Midway International in his hometown. He was coming in hot from Cali, probably still buzzing from the tour life. And that's when things go sideways real quick. When Juice hits the airport, homie starts seizing up out of nowhere. Medics rush in, trying to bring him back, but it was too late. Juice WRLD had checked out right there at the airport.
And turn to the sudden and shocking death of rap star Juice WRLD. The 21-year-old, who was named Billboard's Best New Artist this year, suffered a medical emergency at Chicago's Midway Airport.
Word got out it was an accidental OD that took him out. Oxycodone and codeine, that deadly cocktail that's been snatching up too many of our brightest stars. But the news hit the streets like a shockwave. Fans were shook and the industry was in mourning. But yo, while we're talking about wild moments in hip-hop, let's switch gears for a sec, cause even the OGs ain't safe from the chaos. This next rapper got caught up in some crazy shit on stage. Back in 05, the DOGG, Snoop Dogg himself, was out in Seattle doing his thing at the White River Amphitheater. The spot was jumping, Snoop and the game sharing the stage, laying down tracks, and the crowd was lit. Now, everything was smooth sailing until some wild ish went down. This dude thought he heard Snoop giving the green light for fans to hop on stage. But as soon as the dude hits the stage, it was like all hell broke loose. Snoop's security and other heads on stage went off on this idiot. But is he an idiot though? He comes back swinging, but this time in the courtroom. Dude slaps Snoop with a $22 million lawsuit, claiming Snoop's crew left him for dead after that beatdown. Now Snoop's not having it. He maintained that he had nothing to do with this assault, saying that he was long gone when it all went down. And when it came time for a judge to lay down the law, Snoop walked away clean. The jury couldn't buy he had any part of that beatdown, but it wasn't all good for everyone involved because Snoop's record label and some other dudes got hit with a $449,000 bill for damages. Not quite the $22 million the victim was looking for, but still a hefty price tag for a night gone wrong. Now if you think Snoop's situation was wild, wait till you hear about what went down at this next show. We're talking straight up gang warfare breaking out in the middle of a performance by one of hip-hop's greatest MCs. It's 88, September 12th, Long Island's about to be lit with some real OGs of the game. We're talking about Eric B. and Rakim, Kool Moe Dee, and Dougie Fresh. Oh, the spot was packed tight, 10,000 deep, everybody ready to get bucked to some real hip-hop-ish. Now, the promoters thought they were smart, throwing up some metal detectors at the door. But some slick G's still managed to sneak in some hammers and shanks. It's like every hood beef decided to link up and wild out. Fools were getting rocked, chains getting snatched, shanks coming out. It was madness, and this young blood, only 19, caught a bad one. Some punk tried to stick him up, and the next thing you know, homie gets shanked in the chest. He didn't make it. It wouldn't stop here though. When things settled down, a dozen other dudes were laid out, leaking and shit. The whole scene was straight out of Compton, not what you'd expect at a hip-hop show in Long Island. Could have been every grudge from the block decided to pop off at once. The real tragedy? Rakim, Kool Moe Dee, Dougie Fresh, none of these legends even touched the mic. Damn street politics, crashing parties and messing up the vibe for everybody. And that's all the rappers we have for today, guys. Thanks for chilling. If you like the videos, please be sure to check out the channel to keep up with what these crazy rappers get into, even on tour.